Hello everybody and welcome back to the Halo Chronicle. Today's video is episode 3 in my New Blood series. Last time, we discussed Buck's recruitment into the Spartan 4 program. A Spartan named June would visit Veronica and Buck while they were on shore leave. Veronica excused herself while June would speak with Buck. June would tell Buck about a new Spartan program that was beginning in its first recruitment drive. June would then offer Buck a place in the first class of Spartan 4s. Buck asked if the rest of his squad would be receiving the same invite. June replied that they were only interested in Buck at this time. Buck felt an immense sense of responsibility for his squad and didn't want to abandon them. Due to this, he declined the offer. This surprised June, but he accepted Buck's decision. Buck would later find out that he was the only recruit to decline an invite to join the Spartan 4s during their first recruiting drive. Buck and the rest of Alpha 9 were then sent on a mission several months later. This mission would take place on Buck's home planet, Draco 3. The United Rebel Front had seized control of Draco 3 and Buck's team would be sent to take it back. Alpha 9 would force the URF rebels to retreat to Draco 3's Capitol building. They would then confront the leader of this URF group in Draco 3's legislative chamber. Her name was Captain Ingridson. Ingridson would use the presidential podium in the chamber for cover. The podium would have some protective shielding. Buck sent 2 squads up the back staircases of the legislative building to flank Ingridson, while he and Romeo would face her head-on from the gallery floor below. The first squad was led by Mickey and Dutch. The second was led by the Rookie. During his attempt to get to the presidential podium, the Rookie was ambushed, shot, and captured by URF rebels. He was then brought to the podium where Ingridson would level her pistol to his head. She would try to force Buck to surrender. Buck would attempt to negotiate with Ingridson. During this time, Buck would be contacted by a Spartan group led by Sarah Palmer. Palmer's team was sent to reinforce Buck's squad. Buck would ask Palmer to stand by while he tried to negotiate with Ingridson. Buck would get Ingridson's attention with some pointed remarks about her failure to protect Draco 3 from the Covenant. In a fit of rage, Ingridson would turn her pistol towards Buck, which gave his team an opening. Buck sent a signal to the rest of Alpha 9 and Palmer. Mickey and Dutch burst through the back staircase door and moved to take out Ingridson, but before they could do so, she recovered enough composure to shoot the Rookie in the head. Mickey emptied his shotgun into her chest, and the battle was finally over. Buck and the rest of Alpha 9 would arrange a burial detail for the Rookie. They would take a Pelican and bury him at sea. After saying one final goodbye to the Rookie, the flight home would take a detour into hell. Dutch announced to the team that he was retiring to spend more time with his wife and to get away from these painful missions. This angered Romeo, who would use Dutch's retirement to send a strong remark towards Mickey. He said that if Mickey was faster and hadn't froze up when he saw Ingridson, the Rookie would still be alive and Dutch wouldn't be retiring. This remark sent Mickey over the edge. Mickey and Romeo would get into a brawl in the Pelican's cargo hold. After several minutes, Dutch and Buck were finally able to break up the fight. After landing, Buck would ask his team who was going to stay and who would be leaving. Despite the fight, Romeo and Mickey both elected to remain in Alpha 9. Buck would then break off from his squad mates, rent a car, and drive around Draco 3 to see what was left. Buck would find an old dive bar that he used to frequent in his youth and would go in for some drinks. After several rounds, a familiar figure would appear. It would be June. Buck and June would say a toast to the Rookie. June would then reveal a new offer to Buck. June stated that due to the success of the first class of Spartan 4s, the UNSC had broken the Spartan program away from ONI and established its own military branch. With the Spartan branch now established, it would receive additional funding for a second class of Spartans. This class would be significantly larger. June revealed that they now had room for all active members of Alpha 9. He also revealed that if Dutch wasn't retiring and the rookie were still alive, they would have a place for them too. Buck did one more toast with June. June then asked Buck if that meant he was in. Buck responded by saying, maybe. That completes the recap of the last episode. Let's jump into today's video. A few short weeks after receiving June's second offer, Buck arranged for he and Veronica to take another shore leave. Buck would reveal June's offer and ask for Veronica's blessing before he accepted it. Veronica tried to protest by saying that she had no control over Buck's life and that the decision would ultimately be his to make. Buck responded by saying, like it or not, she did have a say in his life, and he wouldn't do this without her blessing. Buck then told Veronica that if she were ready to settle down, he would retire in a heartbeat to be with her. All she had to do was say the word. Veronica smiled and began to ponder. After thinking about it for several minutes, she told Buck that he should join the Spartans. She still had work to do for Oni, and she believed that Buck could do some real good as a Spartan. Veronica would go on to say that Buck was the best soldier she knew, and he could be a real difference maker for the Spartans. Veronica's answer disappointed Buck in a small way. He was really looking forward to a retired life with Veronica, but he also wanted to be one of the Spartans. Buck sighed explosively and said then it's settled. Buck would accept the invitation to join the Spartan force. Veronica smiled and said that if you are going to join the Spartans, then we need to make the rest of this trip count. She then pulled Buck up off the couch and led him to the bedroom. After several weeks, Buck, Mickey, and Romeo would be brought to a facility on Mars to begin their Spartan 4 augmentations. The augmentations that the trio would receive would be a lot less extensive than what the Spartan 2s and 3s received, but they were still unbelievably painful. The Spartan 4 candidates would undergo carbide ceramic ossifications of their bones, muscular enhancement injections, corneal implants, and they would basically have all of their internal organs replaced with synthetic superior ones. These augmentations would make the trio stronger, faster, more agile, and they could basically see in the dark. To make sure the candidates focused on their own recovery, they were kept in their own separate rooms and rarely saw each other. During Buck's recovery, he would receive a visit from Veronica. He was excited to see her, and the two would spend hours chatting. During this time, Buck would find out that Veronica wasn't there for a social visit. She came to give Buck a mission. Veronica revealed that Oni intercepted a transmission from the United Rebel Front. This transmission indicated that the URF managed to sneak one of their soldiers into the Spartan 4 program. This surprised Buck as he thought the UNSC would catch any rebel ties during their extensive vetting process. Veronica tasked Buck with helping Oni find the traitor. Buck agreed to spy on his fellow Spartans in an attempt to find the traitor. To sweeten the deal, Veronica would playfully say that she had already booked a 1-week shore leave for them when he completed his training. She would then say while leaving that she was anxious to take the new chassis for a test drive. After his recovery was complete, Buck would be sent to Laconia Station. This station was the home for all Spartan 4s. It was also where they would receive their training. The training was primarily done through war game simulations. Buck knew that the training would be hell. He and his team had developed a lot of bad habits during their time with the ODSTs. This training would attempt to break those bad habits. Even though Buck knew it would be hell, he knew it was necessary. The Spartans would be led through these exercises by Captain Marissa O'Day. She would have a fierce reputation as being one of the best drill instructors in the UNSC. Captain O'Day was not a Spartan, but she was respected like one. During one of the Spartan war game exercises, Buck took a brutal shot to the abdomen from a shotgun turret armed with non-lethal rounds. Even though Buck was in a high level of pain, he reported back to O'Day promptly. O'Day respected Buck as he was one of the only Spartans not complaining. O'Day then walked up to another Spartan that was whining and promptly kicked her between the legs. To reinforce the impact of her kick, I will let you know that these Spartans had not been issued their Mjolnir armor yet. O'Day ordered Buck to report to the med bay so the medics could look him over. Buck initially protested but eventually caved. He would report to the med bay as instructed. After quickly looking him over, the doctors had determined that Buck was fine. His modified immune system was already working overtime to heal his abdomen. He was ordered to rest in the med bay until fully healed. While Buck waited, he would see a disturbing sight. A Spartan was brought into the med bay on a gurney. A sheet would cover the Spartan and it would be soaked with blood. The sheet was slowly pulled back by one of the doctors and it would reveal a dead Spartan. The dead Spartan in question was Hideo Wakahisa. Buck knew Spartan Wakahisa well, and the two had actually had breakfast together that morning. The sight of Wakahisa's dead body horrified Buck. Wakahisa's head had nearly been decapitated. His medical tracking implants were forcefully removed. Buck would ask the doctors what happened to Wakahisa. The doctors would respond by saying that he was found in this condition on the training ground. It also confirmed Veronica's suspicions. There was a traitor amongst the Spartans. After seeing the dead body of somebody he considered as a friend, Buck would hear Commander Musa on the ship's communication speakers. Musa ordered all Spartans to report to their quarters immediately. They would be confined to their quarters for hours. Buck returned to his quarters where he would be greeted by Mickey and Romeo. Both Spartans asked Buck about the grim look on his face. Buck revealed what he saw in the med bay. This news would surprise both Mickey and Romeo. Buck would then reveal what Veronica told him about the Spartan program potentially having a traitor amongst their ranks. Alpha 9 was then greeted by Commander Musa in June. Musa confirmed with Buck that both Mickey and Romeo had been brought up to speed on Spartan Wakahisa's death. Musa then replayed the events of the day's exercises. He would reveal that they knew that there was a problem early in the war game when Wakahisa's vitals flatlined. That is when they called for a quick end to the exercise. Musa sent in June to investigate. June found Wakahisa in a tunnel in the back of the War Games chamber. June then revealed what was found in Wakahisa's hand. It was a medallion with a Luna insignia on it. The medallion belonged to Mickey. A shocked Mickey would state that his medallion was in his footlocker this morning before he left for exercises. The lock on the footlocker was also broken, so anybody could have accessed it. June and Musa ordered that Alpha 9 be brought to a containment room on the ship where they would be locked down until the investigation was completed. June advised that they would review the security cameras and confirm who took Mickey's medallion. Buck and Romeo each took time interrogating Mickey. They wanted to know if anyone paid particular interest in the medallion. Mickey would reveal another Spartan trainee named Rudolph Shine was the only one who knew about the medallion besides the rest of Alpha 9. Just then, a large explosion would be heard. All of the bunker doors would open. Buck would peek his head out into the hallway and see Captain O'Day running towards them. She would order the Spartans to remain in their quarters and lock their doors. Suddenly, the artificial gravity would be disabled. Then another audible crash would be heard. The hallway and nearby rooms would rapidly decompress as a large glass panel at the end of the hallway gave way. O'Day and Alpha 9 would be pulled down the hallway. An emergency panel would begin to move in place to reseal the hallway. Buck caught O'Day, who passed out due to a lack of oxygen. He tried to cushion her as they fell towards the panel. Buck did the best he could, but it wasn't enough. O'Day's head bounced off the panel. The force was enough to kill her instantly. The hallway and nearby rooms would once again become airtight. Alpha 9 took some time to recover. Then a frazzled Musa would speak over the PA system again. He would order the Spartans back to their quarters. He asked Buck to leave O'Day there, and he would send a medical team to tend to her when he could. Alpha 9 would spend hours trying to figure out what happened when they would once again be visited by Commander Musa. Musa revealed that June was able to identify Wakahisa's killer through the cameras stationed in the hallways. The killer was Spartan Rudolph Shine. Shine was a rebel sympathizer. His mission was to recruit or kill all of the Spartans in this class. When June and Musa came to confront him, they would find him in the Spartan common room carrying live grenades. Shine would reveal that he had planted explosives throughout the facility, and when his grenade would go off, it would start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire station. In order to stop Shine, Musa ordered that the artificial gravity in the station be temporarily disabled. This would play havoc with the explosives and give June an opening. With the gravity temporarily disabled, June would lunge at the traitor and try to wrestle away the grenades from him. June was able to bat a live grenade away just before it would go off. The explosion would severely weaken the glass viewport in the Spartan common room. June and Shine would then wrestle and collide with the weakened viewport, causing it to give way and begin to decompress the station. The Spartans, still wrestling, would be pulled into the vacuum of space. Musa would save himself by grabbing onto a nearby railing. June would win the battle in space. He would use Shine's body to push off back towards the station. June would be recovered just in the nick of time. Unfortunately, he would lose consciousness in the exchange and still hadn't awoken. Musa and his team were able to locate all of Shine's explosives and push them out of the airlock. Musa apologized to Mickey for the ordeal and asked the rest of Alpha 9 to keep the incident to themselves. With the new Spartan branch still in its infancy, any event like this could lead the UEG to rethink their use of the program entirely, which would have been exactly what Shine wanted. Alpha 9 agreed to keep their mouths shut. This will complete today's chapter of this story, but before I leave you, let's discuss some interesting bits of lore tied to today's video. Despite the fact that all active members of Alpha 9 were seen as the same rank in the new Spartan program, both Mickey and Romeo would still look to Buck as their leader. They would even still call him Gunny, as he was a gunnery sergeant when they were still ODSTs. Shine killed Wakahisa after he failed to recruit him into the United Rebel Front. He would speak to Wakahisa privately on many occasions and try to convince him to join the URF. He even went as far as to drop self-deleting URF propaganda pamphlets into Wakahisa's footlocker. When it became clear that Wakahisa was not going to join the URF, Shine knew his time was growing short. He killed Wakahisa to keep him quiet and framed Mickey while he executed the last phase of his plan. Rudolph Shine would die in space. After June used his body as a springboard to push himself back to Laconia Station, Shine would be pushed further away and would not be recovered in time. He would suffocate in the vacuum of space while June, amazingly enough, would survive. The next episode in this series will be the last. We have nearly gotten to the end of Buck's stories in New Blood. Next time, we will return to Buck's present-day mission, learn who betrayed him, and see the aftermath. I really hope you guys are enjoying this series. I have really enjoyed creating it, and it's been one of the most enjoyable series I've covered so far. I haven't yet decided which series I will cover next, but stay tuned for an announcement regarding that soon. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.